Dr. Ethan Cross was a name that resonated with brilliance in the scientific community. A prodigy from a young age, Ethan had always been fascinated by the mysteries of life. Born in a small town in Oregon, he was the son of two school teachers who nurtured his curiosity. By the age of 25, he had already earned his PhD in molecular biology from MIT, and by 30, he was leading his own research lab at Stanford University. Ethan's breakthrough came in 2025 when he successfully cloned a sheep, not unlike the famous Dolly, but with a twist. His clone was not just a genetic copy. It was a perfect replica, down to the memories and personality of the original. The implications were staggering. The scientific community hailed him as the next Einstein, and the media dubbed him the father of the new age. But Ethan was not content with just scientific accolades. He had a vision of a world where humanity could be perfected, where the best minds could be replicated, and where death could be cheated. He believed that his discovery could usher in a new era of human evolution. However, as the years passed, Ethan's vision began to warp. The pressure of maintaining his status, coupled with the isolation that came with his genius, started to take its toll. He became increasingly paranoid, convinced that the government and rival scientists were out to steal his work. He began to see his clones not as a means to advance humanity, but as a tool for control. In 2030, Ethan made his first move. He created a clone of himself, a perfect replica that could act in his stead while he worked in secrecy. But this clone was different. It was programmed to carry out Ethan's darker impulses. The clone began to infiltrate society, spreading fear and chaos. It started with small acts of sabotage, hacking into government systems, spreading misinformation, and inciting riots. But soon the clone escalated to more sinister acts, including assassinations and bombings. The police were baffled. Every time they thought they had caught the perpetrator, he would escape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The media dubbed the mysterious figure the Phantom, and the public lived in fear of his next move. Detective Sarah Mitchell was assigned to the case. A seasoned investigator with a sharp mind and a relentless drive, Sarah was determined to bring the Phantom to justice. She quickly realized that the man they were chasing was no ordinary criminal. The evidence pointed to someone with advanced scientific knowledge, someone who could manipulate technology in ways that seemed almost supernatural. Sarah's investigation led her to Ethan Cross. At first, she was skeptical. How could a renowned scientist be behind such heinous acts? But as she dug deeper, she uncovered the truth. Ethan had been using his clones to carry out his plans while he remained hidden, pulling the strings from the shadows. Sarah confronted Ethan at his lab, but he was always one step ahead. He had anticipated her move and had already set his escape plan in motion. As Sarah and her team stormed the lab, they found it empty save for a single note. "You can't catch what you can't see." Ethan fled to the Australian outback, a vast and desolate landscape where he could disappear. He set up a hidden lab in the heart of the desert, far from prying eyes. Here he continued his work, creating more clones and refining his techniques. He became a recluse, consumed by his obsession with perfection and control. But even in the desert, Ethan couldn't escape the consequences of his actions. His clones, now numbering in the dozens, began to turn on him. They had developed their own consciousness, their own desires, and they no longer wanted to be mere puppets. Ethan found himself in a battle for control, not just with the authorities, but with his own creations. Sarah Mitchell, now a fugitive herself after being framed by one of Ethan's clones, tracked him down to his desert hideout. She had spent months piecing together clues, following a trail that led her across the globe. With the help of a small team of loyal officers, she launched a raid on Ethan's lab. The battle was fierce. Ethan's clones fought with a ferocity that was almost inhuman. But Sarah and her team were determined. They fought their way through the lab, finally cornering Ethan in the control room. Ethan, realizing that he was defeated, tried to make a final escape. But Sarah was ready. She tackled him to the ground, cuffing him as he struggled. "It's over, Ethan," she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Ethan Cross was brought to trial, his crimes laid bare for the world to see. The media frenzy was unprecedented, with every detail of his descent into madness scrutinized. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, his legacy forever tarnished. Sarah Mitchell was hailed as a hero, but she took no joy in it. She had seen the dark side of human ambition,